What's good, Knicks fans? So we just got one of the biggest updates of the entire finals run, and honestly this could end up changing way more than people realize, because according to Shams, Mitchell Robinson broke his right pinky finger earlier this week, as we all know, and initially there wasn't even a timetable for his return. Now thankfully we got another update later last night saying Mitch underwent surgery on the finger, plans to wear a brace, and fully intends to play in Game 1 of the NBA Finals next Wednesday. Which is absolutely huge for the Knicks, but at the same time, I don't think enough people are talking about the ripple effects that this could have on the Knicks finals rotation, because even if Mitch plays, there is a difference between available and fully effective. And that's where things get really interesting. Now first off, you gotta give Mitchell Robinson a ridiculous amount of credit, because most players probably are not trying to rush back this quickly after surgery. But this is the NBA Finals. This is what players dream about their entire lives, and honestly, Knicks fans already know Mitchell Robinson is gonna try to battle through it all no matter what. Especially because his role is not based around shooting. He's not out there taking pull-up jumpers or handling the ball 40 times a game. His job is rebounding, rim protection, screen setting, physicality, and energy. That's why you're seeing so many Knicks fans saying just tape the finger up and go play. And look, I understand that mindset completely, because this is the finals. Nobody wants to hear excuses right now, but here's the thing, even for a non-shooter, this injury still matters a lot. Because Mitch's hands are everything to his game. Think about how many rebounds he fights for in traffic, think about all the tip outs, think about catching difficult passes inside, think about finishing through contact, and think about constantly battling centers physically every possession. That finger is involved in all of it, so while I do expect Mitch to play in Game 1, I also think there's a real possibility that the Knicks slightly adjust his workload early in the series, and honestly, that's where this suddenly becomes one of the sneakiest important storylines of the finals. Because if Mitch cannot handle his usual minutes, or if the Knicks want to protect him from overexerting the hand, somebody else may suddenly have to step into spot minutes. And there are really two names on the roster that stand out immediately, Ariel Hukporti and potentially Jeremy Sochan. Now Hukporti is the more obvious answer, because if the Knicks simply need another physical big for short stretches, he fits naturally into that role: energy, size, rebounding, and physical presence. And in a final series, sometimes all you need from someone like that is 6 to 8 solid minutes. That's it. Just survive certain stretches, protect the paint, grab rebounds, and play hard. But Sochan is where things get really interesting, because depending on the matchup, especially if the Knicks end up facing OKC, versatility suddenly becomes extremely important. Switchability, defensive flexibility, and physical perimeter defense, and Sochan gives you a completely different look. Now, I'm not saying he's suddenly about to become some huge rotation piece overnight, but finals basketball sometimes is weird. Every year, there's always one random adjustment, one unexpected lineup, and one role player that suddenly matters way more than people expected. And this Mitch injury opens the door for that possibility, especially if the Knicks want to be cautious with his hand early in the series. And honestly, this is why roster depth matters so much. Because injuries do not care what stage you're in. Regular season, playoffs, NBA Finals, doesn't matter. You need contingency plans, and now the good news for Knicks fans is this: everything we've heard since the surgery sounds optimistic. Jonathan Macri reported this morning that the injury happened during game action, which honestly makes Mitch playing through it even crazier. And CP the franchise added that Mitch had a quote small operation and has full range of motion and is already beginning hand therapy today, with the plan still being to play Game 1. That's encouraging, very encouraging, because at the end of the day, the Knicks need Mitchell Robinson, especially against a team like OKC or even San Antonio with Wembanyama. His offensive rebounding alone can completely shift playoff games, and extra possessions matter more in the finals than anywhere else, and defensively, his rim protection changes the entire identity of the team. So even if he's not 100%, his presence alone still matters a lot. And now as for the finals matchup itself, we obviously still don't officially know who the Knicks are playing yet, and Game 7 is Saturday night. Personally, I still think OKC probably pulls it out at home, but Game 7s are unpredictable, and honestly, everybody's already going to be watching the officiating closely in a game that big. Either way though, this Mitchell Robinson situation just became one of the biggest under-the-radar storylines heading into the finals, because if Mitch looks healthy, the Knicks are fine, but if that finger limits him even slightly, the Knicks rotation may suddenly look very different. And that could completely change certain moments in this series. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.